Good morning. Welcome to Ask Coffee Online. My name is Chef Caesar. Today I'm going to be making for you a creamy avocado soup. Avocados have been around for thousands of years, and it's believed they originated in Mexico. And nowadays you can find them in pretty much every cuisine throughout the world. Some countries like Asia, they use them to make like more sweet dishes. Like contrary to us, we use them to make guacamole. Is a good example. Today I'm going to be making a soup. You can eat them by themselves, and they're really healthy. They have a lot of healthy benefits. Now they're being used in health products like lotions and oils and even cooking oil. And by the way, avocado oil is one of the oils that has the highest smoking points. It's really good for cooking at about 520 degrees. So, and also is very healthy. It has a lot of monounsaturated fats, which is good for your lowers your bad cholesterol. And has a lot of fibers, a lot of vitamins. So we're going to start by making our soup here. And it's it's a really nice soup. You can serve it cold or hot. Today I'm gonna do a hot soup, and I'm gonna start by sautéing some of my chopped onions. I got about half a cup of onions and some 1 clove of garlic. I'm using some whole butter here to sauté my onions here. And you guys can use maybe avocado oil too if you want to kind of go in more healthy way. So you can also do that instead of using butter. You can use oil. And like I say, I mean, avocado oil is really good for cooking. You can use it for a salad dressing or saute any food item. So we're going to start by melting our butter here. Be careful not to brown it too much. I also want to be chopping a jalapeno pepper. I'm going to give a little heat to my soup. And you guys at home, if you guys want to take the membranes out of here, whatever, it's fine. But I'm going to leave it on because I want to give a little, kick to my soup. A little, Mexican flair type of thing. And nowadays, avocados are pretty much grown, in tropical climates, California, Mexico, all the way down to South America, and, Asia. And they're really popular. And you pretty much can find them year-round. Sometimes in the wintertime, they're a little more expensive because they're like a little hard to find. But nowadays, like right now, they're very abundant and a little less expensive. So I'm gonna start by sautéing my onions here. And this soup, we're not going to be using any roux to thicken it off. It's just going to be thickened by the avocado flesh. We're going to puree it, and that's so we're not using any flour or any starches to thicken our soup. And I will be posting the recipe as well along with the video, so you guys can try to do it at home, which is really easy to make, as you want to see in a little bit here. We're going to add my garlic here too. And be careful not to burn the garlic. You don't want to get the bitter taste. So we're just going to cook the onions until they get nice and translucent. And you don't have to chop them too fine since we're going to puree the soup. So if you want to do like a medium dice, it's fine. Also the garlic, you don't have to chop it too fine. Okay. Now I'm going to add my jalapeno peppers in there. And you can smell the heat from the peppers, it's like kind of spiced up because I didn't take the seeds or the membranes out of there. So if you want at home, take them off. Just that way you don't have too much heat in your soup. Now I think we're ready to add my chicken stock. I'm using about, 5 cups of chicken stock. Add it in there. A bit more. Okay. Then we're going to let it come to a boil. Okay. In the meantime, I want to, prepare my avocado here. I got some nice avocados are nice and ripe. And one way to tell when they're nice and ripe, they're kind of soft. When you know, apply a little pressure, you can feel them a little soft. And if they're too green, you can put them in a paper bag, and then they really can be, you know, ripe overnight. Leave them outside the refrigerator. You don't want to put them in the cooler. That way they get ripe, you know, much quicker. And these are pretty nice and big avocados. If you find the smaller ones, maybe you want to do like an extra one. That way your soup is not too runny when you know, thicken it up, because a lot of the soup's going to get thick by the avocado flesh. Like I said before, we're not using any thickening agent like cornstarch or roux for this soup. So now we're going to let's cut our avocados. As you can see, they're very nice and creamy. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Okay, this one's a little bit hard still. So I'm gonna cut them in half again. Or you can use a spoon to take the skin off. I'm just gonna peel it off, because this one's a little bit hard, like I said, look. So you can tell when they're not ripe, you know, it's hard to take the skin off them. Just look at this one, it's nice and soft, it comes right away, comes off very easy. That's a nice way to tell when they're nice or ripe. And also the skin turns darker. So I'm gonna put them in my cutting board, because I'm gonna chop them up a little bit before I put them in my soup. So I'm gonna put this back to the side. Okay. This other one. Careful when you take the pit off. You want to twist a little bit like this. Sometimes it's a little hard. And the riper they are, the easier the pit's gonna come off. It's gonna just come out of there. But this one's, it could go a little, you know, one more day in the paper bag to get them nice and soft. We have a question over here. The variety, these are, excuse me, let me wash my hands real quick. I'm using the Haas variety. These are the most popular, the Haas brand here, the variety in the United States. They're really, you know, nice and creamy. They're really, you know, big, and sometimes they're smaller, but, you know, again, they're like different shapes, avocados and different varieties. But this, I'm using the Haas. It's the, like one of the brand that's like, or the kind variety that's more commercialized in the United States. This one's still a little bit hard. So I'm gonna cut it. Okay, see? Now it comes off. And these avocados right now, they come from Mexico. You can also find them, they come from California as well. And then in the wintertime, sometimes they come from even South America when they have their summer down there. We have our winter, so they also come from the south as well. Okay. As you can see, this is a little bit hard, so kind of miscalculated that one there. So I'm just going to chop this real quick here. And you want to be careful. You don't want to cut avocados too far ahead of time, because they're going to start to oxidize and turn brown. So maybe when you do, you want to, you know, rub a little lemon juice on them. That way it kind of helps to keep them a little more fresh. But, you know, it's avocado. It's like any other fruit. You know, they're going to start to turn brown because, you know, the oxidization process. Okay. Now I'm going to put them in my bowl. I'm gonna put this to the side here because I'm gonna use this one instead. If they're really big like this, you might only need 2.5 because otherwise the soup might end up to be too thick. See, this is much easier. Okay, look at that. Now there are chicken stocks coming to a boil. We're gonna add the avocado in there to finish up our soup here real quick. Okay. Now this should be more than enough. Okay. We have our diced avocados in here now. Okay. Now there are chicken stocks coming to a boil. We're going to add avocados to our chicken stock here. Okay. Look at that. I'm also going to squeeze a little bit of lime juice in there. Maybe just like a half a lime. About 1 tablespoon of that. Okay. Look at that. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to let it boil for a little bit here. Then we're gonna puree our soup. This is very easy to make. This soup. This is a good way to use your chicken stock that you're gonna be, using in your stocks class. It's a nice way to, make use of that. Now let's puree our soup here. If you don't have a stick blender like this, you can use a regular blender. Just scoop out the avocados, or you can even drain that soup and just puree and then put it back in the pot to finish simmering. So have a nice green color, very creamy, tasty. Look at that. If you think the soup is too thick, you can always add a little more chicken stock at the end, or cream, or maybe a little milk. If it gets too thick, like this one, it's got a little thicker. Like I told you before, if the avocados are pretty big, it's gonna, get thicker. But I still have to add my heavy cream and maybe a little more chicken stock. Make sure you break all the chunks down. Okay, now I'm gonna lower the heat because I don't want to boil too long, otherwise it's gonna lose the color. It's gonna become, brownish. So I'm gonna add the heavy cream here. I'm gonna whisk it in. And the heavy cream doesn't have to be warm because we're not, using any roux. The reason you warm up the milk when you're making like a roux, we're using the roux in the soup because you don't want the flour to get lumpy. Because if you add like cold milk, the flour is now dissolved in there, so it's going to be like kind of lumpy, and you don't want that. But since we're not using any flour or starch to thicken the soup, the cream can be cold when you add it in there. Okay. Now I'm going to add one more my spices here. I'm gonna add a little cumin, about 1/4 teaspoon of ground cumin in here. Okay. And we're almost done with this soup. I'm gonna add some salt too as well. Okay. Some ground white pepper. And then I'm gonna let our soup simmer for a little bit. Okay. Now we're gonna taste to make sure that it has enough salt and pepper in there. If not, we're gonna add some more. It's very important to taste your dishes before you serve them. Tastes really nice. And it's really not that spicy because these jalapenos were not, that hot, so it doesn't really have any spice to it, but it tastes really good. You can still taste the jalapeno in there. I'm gonna cut some tomatoes here to garnish my soup. Just cut the outer flesh. I don't want any seeds. This is gonna be my garnish for the soup. And like I said before, you can also serve the soup cold. You can cool it off and just serve it cold like you do a gazpacho soup, and it's really tasty too. But I know some of us are not, some people are not a fan of cold soups. But now in the summertime, they go really good because hot weather. They're nice and refreshing, and this is a good soup that you can use for that. Okay, I'm also gonna try to get a little. Some slices of avocados to put over the top of the soup. A little garnish. Chop them up. Look at that. Do you guys have any questions for me? Now we got our soup back to our boil again. I want to show you the consistency of the soup. It's not very thick, it's kind of runny, like a cream soup should be. If you think it's too thick for your liking, you can also add a little more chicken stock, like I said, or a little more cream, but probably chicken stock would be a better bet. Okay. Now it's coming back to a boil again, and then we're gonna take it off. You shouldn't, left it in the heat for too long. Otherwise, it's gonna start to lose the color. It's gonna turn brownish. So you wanna make sure you keep an eye on that when you're making this kind of soup. Okay, and we're almost ready to serve our soup. I'm gonna put my, and I want to give you an idea of how to, serve this soup. I got my soup bowl here. Look at that. Nice and creamy. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna turn it down again. Then we're gonna just garnish our soup with some diced tomatoes. Some little avocado on top. I'm gonna put a little avocado oil, little droplets on top, just like so. Now I got here some cilantro too. You know what? I gotta chop some cilantro as well into my soup here. That's the one thing I didn't do. Put a little cilantro in the soup. Because this is a nice flavor it's gonna add to your soup as well. Almost missed that part. It's not good. So this is a very, I love cilantro. I even got some cilantro flowers from my plants at home. And if some of you don't like cilantro, you can always leave it off too. I love cilantro. It gives you a nice, fresh kick to the soup too. Okay, this is going here. I'm just gonna top some of my. We have a question over here. How long can the soup keep in the refrigerator? Well, it's gonna keep for a couple days, and you want to make sure that you cool it off really good before you put it in the refrigerator. So follow the 2 or 4 hour rule, and then you should be good. But it should keep for a couple 3 days or so. I got some nice cilantro flowers here. Okay, go ahead. Okay, the question was, can you get away, go do the soup without heavy cream? And the answer is yes. If you want to go to like a more, healthy soup type of thing with less calories or fat, you can, like I say, you can saute the onions with some olive oil or some avocado oil rather, and you can also use like skim milk. And it's not going to be creamy, but again, you can use like milk or 2%, and or even something like fat-free milk, and you can still do it. But when you add cream, it's gonna be a lot more creamy because of the fat content. But you can make it healthier if you like. Okay. And then we're gonna put like a little sprig of cilantro here as well, along with the flower. Look at this. This is a cilantro flower I got from my garden. It's beautiful for a garnish. And there you go. You have a nice creamy avocado soup, and that you can serve with maybe some crackers up by itself, and it looks very nice. So I'm really glad you guys were here this morning. If you guys don't have any more questions, I would like to wrap this up, and I want to see you back here next week. Thank you and have a nice day.